Welcome back to the Garage Talk, everyone, where the conversations become the catalyst for repair. On tonight's show, I'm introducing Darren Damastis, and he is one of our previous guests, Noel's husband. Let me just tell you, his story caught me off guard in the best way possible. Now, this man's been carrying a lot, and he volunteered because he knows he's got to get it off his chest. Now, our conversation goes in depth. However, it's not as explicit in the video as it should have been. One thing I want you guys to notice is that Darren does not hide from his past. He owns it. And because of that, his story carries weight here. This isn't a conversation about pretending we have it all put together or all our ducks in a row or we have life figured out. No, it's about what happens when a man finally becomes honest with himself. As always, don't just listen to Darren's story. Listen for the moments that might reflect your own. So let's pull up a chair in the garage. Welcome back to the Daditude Lounge Garage Talk series. Around here, we don't bring people on because they lived the perfect life. We invite people who've walked through the fire and are willing to tell the truth about it. Today's guest grew up in the Bahamas, served in law enforcement, has seen corruption from the inside, lived a life he isn't proud of, immigrated to Canada searching for something different, and today he spends his time building with his hands, loving his family, and following Christ. Brother, welcome to the garage, man.
Thank you, brother.
But how about you tell us your name, bro?
My name is Darren Damastis, I grew up in the Bahamas. Been a Bahamian for a long time. I got 2 kids. You know my wife, but I'm still stuck on that question you asked me earlier, dude. I'm still stuck on that. When I was a kid, man, I didn't have nobody. Like a lot of people, they have mom, they have dad. I never had that. That wasn't me. My life was either I do it or never get done. So don't get me wrong. My mom, now she's trying to get back in my life. She was never there before, I grew up without parents, man. I fought for everything I wanted. I got what I want. I got what I get when I wanted it. I don't know how to say it any different.
So when you picture your childhood, what do you remember first?
And I picture my childhood. I remember my granddad. I was the only bright light in my life was my granddad.
Right. And so you were telling me
my granddad, he was a pastor too, right? And he was always there for me. Even through the worst situations where he was sick, he'd still be there for me. But he had so much to deal with. Like, he had so many grandkids that he had to deal with at the same time, but he always made time for me. To the point that I was the only grandchild that ever slept in his bed. I used to sleep on the side of my granddad. We sit down and we pray together. I would kneel down with him every night and we would pray together. My granddad taught me how to pray. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even know how to pray. I wouldn't even know how to talk to God. But he sat me down every night. He kneeled me down inside his bed every night. He kneeled me down inside his bed and we pray together. He taught me how to pray. And he told me, speak from the heart, man. Talk to God. God is your friend. I would have never knew that if it wasn't for him. He would kneel me down inside his bed every night. Not one night, not 2 nights, every night. He would not go to bed until I kneeled down inside his bed next to him. He would not go to bed. And he taught me how to pray.
I wish I would have had something like that.
Man, listen, let me tell you. Look here, it's one thing to talk to God, but it's a different thing to pray. We could all talk to God, man. Anybody can talk to God. But when you pray from the heart and you give God everything you got, everything, and you exhaust yourself of everything, and you tell him what you want, and you ask him for this and that, but you got to be grateful for everything that you get too, though. You can't neglect the goodness. You know what I mean? Some people, they just ask and ask and ask and ask, but they forget about the blessings that they get. Yeah, thank God for the birds.
Yeah. And
thank God for
everything we ask for.
Yeah, you got to thank God for the little simple things. The simple things in life matter, man. The simple things. And once you thank God for that, them simple things, trust me, God will bless you.
Let me ask you, because of your granddaddy, what kind of picture of God did you have as a kid? Because it seems like you developed this belief in him way ahead of your time.
I don't have a picture of God. Because, I grew up like, I can tell you a story. I can tell you something. My granddad was a Baptist pastor. My grandmother was Anglican. So I used to be bouncing back and forth between churches, right? So I don't really have a picture of God, but I know the Bible enough to know what God looks like. Because it says that Jesus' feet was black as brass when it was burnt. His eyes was red as the fires of hell, and his hair was as thick as wool. And that's all the information I need. I don't need to specify that no more than that.
Yeah.
It's what it is, brother. And this not a racial war. This not a this thing, you know, when it comes to living as human beings, this not racist. This not a racial war, man. We all human. We bleed the same. Everybody gotta that gotta stop, man. When is it gonna stop? We gotta stop hating each other, man. I don't hate nobody. I love everybody the same until you prove me wrong.
Right.
I don't
What do
know,
you think about all the denominations and stuff? I gotta give it to you straight, man. I think it's all a part of division.
Say that again.
Religion.
I don't believe in religion. I don't believe in.
Good.
I don't subscribe to religion. Religion is garbage. It's a money making scheme. I don't believe in it. Honestly, I could give two. I know I can't cuss on this, so I don't care about religion, man. At the end of the day, I feel like what's in your heart, you know what's right, you know what's wrong. God designed every human being on this planet to know what's right and what's wrong. When you feel that, you feel it. If you do something that's wrong, you feel that in here. When you do something that's right, you feel that in here. So I don't subscribe to religion because I feel like religion is a money grabbing scheme, but at the end of the day, to each his own, right? But I feel like a man should be a man and stand up for what he believes in and just be a man. That's what I feel. And if you feel like something is wrong, you stand up for that. If you feel like something is right, you stand up for that. That's how I feel. I don't believe in religion, brother.
Bro, you said something that struck a chord with me. And it's like when a man knows he's doing wrong, it's a feeling inside. I'm going to bring up sociopaths and schizophrenia and stuff like that. You know, all these labels
and all that crap, right?
Yeah, it's possession, right?
Listen, I'm not the one to say who's sick and who's not. I'm not out there to tell anybody whether they're schizophrenic or they have mental issues or whatever. That's not my place. I'm not trained for that. But if you want me to be honest about it, I think that's a whole heap of crap, man. Some people use that as a crutch to get away with a whole heap of bullshit, man. They use that as a crutch and they try to use that as a manipulation tactic to get what they want. I don't subscribe to that. Me personally, I don't. But I can't say that some people out there aren't actually sick with these kind of situations, right? There's people out there that actually have real problems, man. And it pisses me off with the ones that uses it for their own gratification and to get what they want. Because it makes the other ones out there that actually need help look like they faking, like they pretending. And that's wrong. You shouldn't do that. Anyway.
In scripture, they've described a lot of these side effects, if you will, that were deemed demonic and possessions and stuff like that. And I know witchcraft, I'm kind of basing it all in the same alignment.
Woo! But in a whole nother field, brother.
Yeah. Well, that's where I was going with that, is that if it's psychological and they are owned, and that's what this schizophrenia stuff is like they're losing connection of their own self, right? There's somebody else controlling them. That and multiple personality disorder and stuff, you know?
I gotta ask you a question. Do you believe in witchcraft?
You know, I believe in the Magi's and the powers that be, but I don't think it's owned by anyone else other.
I can tell you different. You know? I can tell you different. Trust me.
Okay. So, all right. This is it's getting interesting. Like, because your back home was very spiritual.
Yes, very spiritual.
You saw these powers that be's.
I did.
You've seen it in action?
I did.
Okay. I don't want to believe in it.
I'm going to tell you something. I can tell you, my grandmother was raised in this kind of environment, right? With craft. I'm not going to say witchcraft because I'm just going to say craft. My grandmother was a Wiccan. You know, it was a Wiccan. They believe in herbal medicine and trying to heal. My grandmother believed in healing. So she took what she learned to heal people. But I had my other aunt. This woman she was something special. Trust me. This woman, their foot on the soil. I know people used to get a fruit. I watch people shaking their boots when she stepped foot on the soil because she was that evil.
It's crazy.
And you know the sad thing about this is? You know the sad part about it? She always loved me.
Well, it's not sad. That's actually a blessing, right?
Well, it's kind of sad because I gotta deal with that. So if you know somebody dealing with dark magic and they love you, and then you gotta be attached to them, it's kind of like, it's terrifying. Trust me, trust me, it's terrifying.
When you connected though, like you are protected.
Well, yeah, she protect me. She always protect me, but I just didn't want to be a part of it. I just didn't want to be there. I didn't want nothing to do with it.
From a young age, eh?
But she always wanted me there with her, and made me uncomfortable. I I come I come from far, dude. Where I come from, most people don't even know the top from the bottom. I didn't grow up with no indoor plumbing. I didn't grow up with no television. I didn't grow up with no technology. I didn't grow up with none of that stuff. I grew up in a farming industry. So my whole family, my grandparents, like I tell you, I grew up with my grandparents. All we did was hunt, farm, and fish. That's it. That's why I don't know nothing about technology right now. It's not because I'm ignorant or I'm stupid. I'm very intelligent. Trust me, I'm very intelligent. But I have no interest in it. I have no interest in it because I didn't grow up with it.
So tell me what happened that your grandparents had to take care of you?
Well, I would say this like this. My dad was in the military, right? He worked for the military, and he came down, and he slept with my mom and my aunt at the same time. So I have a sister that's actually my sister and my cousin. But anyway, that's a story for another day. And then he got sent back home to West Virginia, right? And
West Virginia.
yeah, and my mom was into her own thing. My mom had 7 kids. She never raised one of. I'll say that.
Real shit.
So,
and your mom's trying to get back into your life now. Your dad,
yeah,
is he still alive?
My dad died last year.
Condolences.
My dad died last year. My dad wasn't a bad guy. He just, he did. I don't know how to explain that. He wanted to be there, but he couldn't be there because he's not a Bahamian. He couldn't come back to the Bahamas. So it's a complicated situation. He wanted to be there, but he couldn't be there. My mom, she was there, but she wasn't there. So
right. And your dad's American.
Yeah, he's a Yankee boy.
Well, how come you couldn't get double citizenship?
No, I could have get double citizenship. I could have. I don't want to be American though. Right, I could have go to instead of coming to Canada, I could have go to the U.S. and I could have get citizenship easy over there. I don't want to be American. America's corrupt. Though.
Right. Yeah, and I agree with you on a lot of levels about the Americans. And yeah. I want to touch quick on go ahead.
I lived an interesting life too. My God never failed me. He hasn't failed me yet. I tell you a story. You ready to hear the story? I gave my life to Christ when I was 8 years old. I was 8 years old and I got my first Bible. Where my grandparents' house located is right on the marina. So I see all the boats that come in, right? And this one boat that came in, it was a tourist boat. It was a yacht. And I would go there every day and I would talk to this older guy, and he would talk to me about God, right? And he would tell me about the Bible and different things. And we actually would read the Bible together sometimes. And I enjoyed that. And that's the first time I ate Pop-Tarts because he gave me my first box of Pop-Tarts. I never knew about Pop-Tarts before that. He gave me my first box of Pop-Tarts. Yeah, and I think he thought that I used to come out there just for the Pop-Tarts, but I wasn't coming over for the Pop-Tarts. I was coming out to actually talk to him about God, And he was leaving the one day, and I cried. So I started crying on the dock. I was crying because he was leaving, because I couldn't believe that this guy loved God as much as I love God, and then he's leaving, and I have nobody to talk to about it. So what he did before he left, he gave me a hug, and he gave me a Bible, my first Bible. He gave me my first Bible. Well, I always had a Bible in the house, but I never had my own. Right. So he gave me my first Bible, and when he gave me that Bible, it was almost like it triggered something inside of me, like almost getting hit with a lightning bolt. And I went home that night and I read that Bible and I prayed to God, and I gave my life to Christ that very night. Crazy. And I told God to forgive me for all my sins, and I asked him if he could love me as much as I love him. And that's when I saw God work in my life after that. That's when I actually acknowledged what God can do. Because after that, I wanted to relocate to another island. And I prayed and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. I said, Lord, help me, because I got a scholarship. But I wouldn't have gotten that scholarship if it wasn't for God, just to relocate me from one spot to another sport to elevate myself. He moved me from there and he took me somewhere else. I prayed for that and it happened. And I was like, holy crap. It shocked me because I was like, I didn't think it was going to happen, but it happened.
So you got a
And God could
scholarship.
do.
I like that. What was the scholarship about?
My scholarship was for track and field because I'm a pretty good runner, you know? Yeah.
Right.
I got a scholarship in
And no
track and
pun-
field, and yeah, I got a scholarship in track and field and basketball. Well, it was kind of a combined thing, but initially it's for track and field, but I ended up playing basketball and
Nice.
because I used
That's
to
a
run a
good thing.
100-meter dash. I could have run a 100-meter dash in 9.28,
Wow. Nice.
and that
So,
was in grade 7.
13 years
Yeah,
old,
I was
man.
pretty good at track and field, you know. That's what
How was your
I grew
school
up in
life?
that. School was interesting. It was like for me it was like I was always the poor kid. Like
Right.
I was always the kid that didn't have much. I was always the kid that people looked down on. Like he's not, you know, he's not wearing Air Jordans, he's not wearing Nikes, he's wearing whatever. You know what I mean? That was me. I wasn't the popular kid, but that's all. No, my community wasn't that way.
Okay.
You know, the Bahamas is I was at the bottom of the food chain in a sense. Even in those days, we still had resources where a lot of people was fortunate enough to do certain things. Like I told you, I didn't have television, I didn't have these video games, I didn't have indoor plumbing, but all of my classmates had that stuff. So I was kind of like, I guess I was poor in a sense, but I was okay with that.
I grew up being bullied, beaten up, always teased, but I wasn't classified as poor. I'm sorry to hear that, you know?
But you know, I wouldn't have it any other way. I look at my childhood and I look back at myself now. I look at myself now and I look back at my childhood. I wouldn't be the guy that I am right now if it wasn't for my childhood. I embrace that.
Precisely.
I love that. My grandparents did the best they could do with what they had. And I love them for that. I wouldn't trade one single day of that for any riches in the world. Damn, my grandparents love me, man. What else you want? They love me, man. And
That's it's amazing.
You can't ask for more than that.
Love.
They might not be able to. They wasn't able to provide everything, but one thing they did provide for me was love, and I would take that any day over everything. They love me, man, and I know right now they probably sitting down there watching me right now, talking to you, and I know my granddad's standing over me right now, telling me, "Good boy." There you go.
Okay.
I love them, man. I won't trade one day with them for any riches in the world, man. If I could get one day back with them, with no plumbing, no technology, none of that, I would take it just to see them smile. Just to see that smile on my granddad's face, man. I would take that.
Yeah. So when did you realize, first, when did you leave the island?
Island or the Bahamas?
Like the Bahamas? You were saying that you wanted to move to an island. So
I left as soon as COVID was over. Like as soon as the flight started flying out, the first flight coming to Canada, I was on it.
Bro, you were fresh. Like you spent your entire life there.
Yeah.
Okay. My apologies. I thought you'd been here like, 10 years, 5 years.
No.
20 years. No. Bro, how is it? Let's touch base on this.
I've been here about 7 years. About 7 years.
Well, 7 years, like COVID was just starting.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is like when COVID ended, 2021, first plane was heading out to Canada. I was on that. That's why I said about 7 years.
Okay. Like, I need to ask you this. How was the Bahamas during COVID?
It was shut down. Everything was locked down. But I wasn't.
That's insane. Yeah, same. I was the busiest guy I've ever been.
Yeah, I wasn't locked down though. During COVID, it was crazy, man. It was a crazy time. Everybody was shut down in their home. They were locked down. They couldn't come out. It was a mess. But my job that I had was considered essential, so I was able to move around, right? So I had a pass to go on the streets, and whenever I passed the intersection where the military or the cops were, I could have showed them my pass and I could go at. But
yeah. Right. Even if I wasn't essential, I would have never listened.
Yeah.
I gotta ask, what were you doing? What were you doing at that time? Because you did
at that time I worked at the power plant, so I was a mechanical engineer.
Yeah.
So I used to work on the generators and stuff at the power plant to keep the electricity going and stuff like that. So that made me essential to go back and forth to work and stuff like that. Yeah.
So give me some straight facts of like when you left high school to when you left the Bahamas. Like I think that would make the better part of your life interesting, right? Like, cause when did you join the police force? And
Well,
then how did you end up leaving that?
high school was a mess. The thing about high school was I was always smart. I always did my studies, right? I left home when
Right.
I was like 16. Me and my brother and my cousin, we was living on our own from we was like 15, 16. So I never
Okay.
lived like I told you, I lived with my grandparents, right? But they were old. And so we moved out on our own, right? And high school was, dude, I did so much drugs in high school. I can't even tell you.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I in high school, honestly, I dealt a lot of drugs. I did so much stuff that I shouldn't have done, but it was survival, right?
Right, right.
Like at that point, I didn't have nobody to have my back. So I wish I had somebody there to tell me, stop, don't do that. Try it this way,
Yeah.
do it that way. But I didn't have that. So I just had to go with my own instincts, right? And my instincts usually was wrong. And I made a lot of stupid decisions. But anyway,
We knew everything in high school, dude.
yeah, I was a prick in high school, man. I didn't listen to nobody. I wasn't listening to anybody. I just wanted to do what I had to do, and I didn't care. But then I came out of high school, and I work a few odd jobs here in between, and I always wanted to be a cop. Honestly, to be honest with you, I always wanted to be a cop. That was something that always set my spirit. That's why I never this is that was the reason I never quit high school, because I could have quit high school anytime. Like I told you,
There you
I
go.
was living on my own. I could have just dropped out of high school and nobody would have said two words about it. But I never
Right.
gave up on high
Nobody's
school.
asked.
You know, I know what I always said. I said to myself, I already put this amount of time in there. I will not quit on that, because if I quit on it, then that's a waste. So I never quit high school. I continued to do what I had to do. But when I became a cop, oh man, listen, you know, in the Bahamas they have a police training. You got to go through training, right? It takes 6 months to go through training. 6 months, sometimes depends if you were in a specialty area. It take 9 months or maybe a year. My training took me a year. I didn't ask for it. They saw something in me that I didn't see, and then they put me in these specialty areas, right? So I just went through. And when I graduated from the police training college, they put me into CDU, which is the criminal detective unit. And when I went into I'm going to say something from my got in there, it was a dirty unit. You understand what I mean?
Yeah,
When I
I
got
do.
in there, the unit was already dirty. So I had to blend in a sense. So it's
You didn't
like,
know what you were getting into, right?
no, I didn't know. And then when I got into it, I wasn't expecting it, but you have to get along to go along, right? Otherwise, if you don't,
Yeah, dude.
then, you understand? So I could have ended up with a bullet in me. So I just did what I had to do, brother. I didn't, don't get me wrong. I love being a cop. I loved it, but what we was doing was wrong and I didn't like it. I didn't like it one bit, but there's nothing I could do about it. Actually,
Man.
I got to the point where I seen so many, and I don't want to talk about this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Listen, I seen
Let's
some
switch
things.
it, bro.
Listen, brother, let me tell you, I seen some things where human beings ain't supposed to walk this earth. And when you see that kind of what one human could do to another human being, especially when it comes to a child, it would make you sick to your stomach, brother. I'm telling you, like, I've seen people.
Civilian.
I try to bury that shit deep down. It don't come back up. Hey, I got out of the police force. My mom, the one I tell you who didn't really take care of me. One day I went and visited her and I was so numb. I was desensitized from human emotions. I had no feelings. And me and her got in the argument. And I was a cop, right? And I pulled my gun out. I was about to shoot my mom, right? And I didn't give a shit. And that's when she said, you need to quit this job. I didn't.
Man.
Like, listen, I was to the point where human emotions meant nothing to me. I didn't care about human feelings. After you see what you're seeing and what humans are capable of, at some point you got to draw the line. And my line was drawn, and that was my gun. So I had to get out of there. And they put me in therapy. They put me in the therapy, and they said they took my gun away. They said you can't get your gun back until you finish therapy or whatever. But the therapy was garbage. But I realized something about myself in that therapy. I shouldn't be walking around with a licensed handgun, feeling the way I feel. The way I felt at that point, I
Yeah.
shouldn't be having a licensed handgun walking around the streets to protect and serve, knowing I can't protect myself or serve myself. So I resigned. I put the gun on the counter, I signed the paper, and I left.
I don't even want to begin to imagine just in detail the circumstances. I don't want to do that. But I'm going to ask you this. Was it a part of your job to see it, or was it people that were a part of your job that were doing it?
It was both.
Or was it civilians? Sorry to hear, bro.
It was both. It was my job to see it.
Your job to hide it.
And my job. I'm sorry.
No, bro. I'm here with you. I'm here with you. You joined to make a difference in the world. You had that Bible to keep you solid and with a strong back.
I'm sorry.
And that's no, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. I want to support you.
We did so much. It was so much that we shouldn't have done. So much wrong. And I can't take it back. But I can't take it back. So
You know, we were
so sorry. But that's life, right? You live and you learn.
I mean that I said from our conversations that we've had today, the forgiveness has already been given, bro. It's
I ask
you
for it
that
every
needs
day.
it.
I ask God for forgiveness every day. That's the only
And it
person
weighs on
that
you.
can redeem me. Yeah. But you can't wash away the past, right? It doesn't just go away.
You know.
But it teaches you what not to do. Person you don't want to be. And I don't want to be that guy anymore. I don't want to be that guy anymore.
Search me, oh God, and know my heart. He knows your heart, bro. He knows your heart, bro. You were put in this position to do these things because it was you or them.
You know, when I was on a police force, we had a saying, right? We had a saying like, well, I didn't have the saying. This was my senior officer saying, and he used to always say, they got to send a devil in to do God's work.
Oh, man.
So he used to say that all the time, right? And it's better to destroy one and save 100 than to freaking kill 100 and save one. So I don't know if that makes sense, but
100%.
so you might kill one, but make sure you kill him properly. Send a message that the rest know that this was what we dealing with.
You just made that statement so real. And you can ask Noelle, you can ask my wife. I always state God uses evil to do his work.
But yeah, because at the end of the day, you know, it's like the universe got yin and yang, right? If it wasn't for the devil, nobody would respect God. Nobody would worship God. So you need both. You need fear to guide you to God. You need that fear. If it wasn't for that fear, nobody would go to God. And I'll tell you something too. You know, when God created man, he created Lucifer at the same time. Because Lucifer was the most beautiful angel in heaven. He was the only angel in heaven that had rainbow striped wings. When he rise, the sun rise. He was in charge of the choir. He used to make the heaven sing.
It's all about music.
I'm gonna say something, man. I don't know how this play on your podcast or whatever, but you know, Lucifer biggest sin. You know what his biggest sin was? No, he didn't think he was better than God. His sin was arrogance. He was too arrogant. Sorry. Well,
yeah, didn't he?
Lucifer
he was upset that God was putting so much into humans.
Yeah, he was upset that God created man, and he didn't understand why God was paying so much attention to us. Right? To Lucifer, we're maggots, something to step on. Lucifer have no respect for human beings. He have no respect for man. And that's why I don't understand why people gravitate toward the evil when the evil doesn't even like you.
Exactly.
Go toward the light.
You know, call me crazy.
Go toward the...
I just want to say this. I feel God threw Lucifer into the world for him to specifically allow us to know the other side. Like his job was to scare us back towards God. And that's what you just said, right? He was a fallen. His job was to give the balance to the world, as above, so below, you know? Darkness is
Yes, sir.
is the absence of light. Yeah,
See,
he's
God was the angels in heaven, they're automatically gonna worship him because he's God. They have no choice. That's their orders. That's what they designed to do. So he wanted something there. That's why he gave man free will. That you can go there and choose what you want. At the end of the day, if you choose him, you would never forget it.
right.
As you can see.
Yeah.
Once you
make your
choose
bed.
him, he would love you to death, and he will show you all the love and all the mercy that you need. He'll embrace you. I know from my own experience, brother. God saved me so many times. I've been stabbed 3 times. I've been shot at 4 times. I was supposed to be dead so many times, and I'm still walking this earth.
Got a job to do too, brother.
Yeah, brother. And I know what he want me to do. He tell me all the time. But the thing about it is, what he want me to do, I'm terrified to do it. But I know I have to do it. I got 2 jobs to do. One is to go back home. Anyway, we'll talk about that. I'll tell you about that. But politics and religion, that's my job.
Hey,
Yeah. And I'm going to do it too. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Trust me. I never question my God, but my God always was there for me. I'm going to be there for him. If he tell me to do something, I'm going to do it. He never let me down. I'm not going to let him down.
how did you get that message, if you don't mind me asking?
You know, sometimes you can't really explain that one. You can't. When God give you a message, you know, it's not like you getting a letter in the mailbox. You know, it's something that comes into your soul spiritually. You know, you feel it, and he sends a message, and you hear that voice in your head telling you what to do. Sometimes people think that voice is just I'm thinking too much, whatever. No, that's not you thinking. That's God talking. Shut up and listen. If you quiet your mind for a minute, you'll hear him. He'll be there. I know I hear him. I hear him all the time.
Show the entire roadmap.
Well, my first
No,
step is, you know what? I'm glad you asked that. I never really give it much thought on what the roadmap is. But my roadmap is God first, everything second.
yeah.
So he want me to do 2 things: be a politician and be a pastor, or what? Not a pastor, but to bring his people in. So what I'm gonna do is what I think he would do: bring the people in first, and then worry about politics. Because I gotta take care of my people first, and then I'll be able to take care of my country.
Yo, I got to share something with you. The night my mom passed away, I got a message, and it's all around me in this garage. It's guided my entire life. This is the reason why I'm in this chair talking with you. I don't know. And I asked about the roadmap is because I only get a little piece at a time. I still don't even know if I'm doing it the way he wants me to do, bro. But I just need to
You're
bring
doing a good
awareness.
job right now.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
can't say whether you're doing it the way he wants you to do it, but what you're doing right now, brother, I love you for it. And I congratulate you for it because a lot of people need that. Some people just need to vent. Like today, I just needed to vent. So I appreciate you for that.
We spoke earlier today, and that flow was a little higher energy, but that's okay. This is a grounded energy.
Hey,
You know, bro,
listen,
it takes kahunas to share what you just shared.
at the end of the day, boy, at the end of the day, the way I look at it, I'm not talking to the audience. I'm talking to my brother.
That's right. That's right.
I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
And I love you, brother. You don't even know. Right. I love you, brother. Trust me. And when you want to talk religion, we can talk religion anytime you want to, brother. Like I said, I come from a long line of pastors. I don't believe in religion. Yeah, the thing about it is, you know, I like the Bible. I think there's a lot of nice stories in there, you know, but at the same time, think a lot of them are, you know, fairy tales. Like,
Bro,
you know,
Galatians.
I give you an illustration. Like, there's a Jesus feed 5,000 people with 2 fishes and 5 loaves of bread. How? Explain that to me. How? I know God is amazing. Don't get me wrong. I know He's amazing. But how? Logically, explain that to me. How do you feed 5,000 people with 2 fishes and 5 bread? Unless that, it's not impossible. Don't get me wrong. They have to be 5 big ass bread and 2 big ass fish.
I'm looking for a scripture that would help you with this one. And it's not about
It's a Matthew.
splitting it. Yeah.
It's
No, in Galatians 4.
Galatians?
Yeah. Galatians
All right.
4:24.
What does it say?
Which things are an allegory, for these are the two covenants, the one from Mount Sinai which generate the bondage, which is Agar. So to understand this, we have to understand what an allegory is. An allegory.
Read it again.
Yes, sir. Always sitting next to me.
You know David's prayer? That's what I lean into all the time. David's prayer. Yeah, I love that prayer. That would protect you in any situation. If you ever feel afraid, if you ever feel scared, if you feel like you're not adequate, prayer will help you. I love that
Adequate.
prayer.
I think a lot of people have the problem with that.
Yeah, I still have a problem with it. Sometimes I don't think I'm good enough. We all feel that way sometimes.
You know?
Think about that. I can give you an illustration, right? I came from the Bahamas, from a third world country, basically, to come to Canada. I never accepted government assistance or nothing like that. All I did was work. But then I met my wife. Do you know how terrified I was when I met her? I was shaking in my boots. But I love this woman so much. I couldn't walk away. But I was terrified because I don't forgive me for saying this, but I've never been with a white woman before. So I was shaking in my, like, listen to me. The first time I kissed her, my whole body was vibrating. I'm not even joking. Like when I kissed her, I was shaking like a tree. Ask her when I put the ring on her finger, I was vibrating. I was so terrified. I didn't know how it was gonna go. I've never been in this situation before, right?
Right.
I've been in similar situations, but I've never been in this situation. You know what I mean? Like I was shaking like I couldn't control. When you meet me, you'll understand. I can't stop shaking when I'm passionate about something. I will shake like a tree.
And so what, like, this was when you walked into the office?
Listen,
And
when I
tell me
walked
about
into that
first
office,
time.
the first day I walked in the office, she was being cocky. So I'm standing there and she's just standing there. To be honest with you, when I first met her, I couldn't stand her. My first initial thought about her was she was being arrogant. You know, she was being cocky.
Typical white girl.
But I got to know her, right? And I did my homework on her. I asked a lot of questions because I liked her. I wanted to know her. So I asked a lot of questions. I asked everybody I could who I thought knew anything about her. I asked a lot of questions. What type of person she was, with this and that. So I asked a lot of questions. And then everything that came back to me was good. So I was like, what are you waiting for? What's stopping you? She's a great girl. What are you waiting for? So one day I just grabbed her and kissed her. I could have got fired for that.
You were at work.
Yeah, I was at work. I could have been fired for that, but she kissed me back. So I was like, okay.
All right.
And I never stopped loving her since, mate. I never stopped loving her ever since that day to this day. I never stopped loving her since, mate.
And so
She is the. Let me tell you something, brother. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off, but
no.
she calms me down when I can't be calm. I got so much demons rumble. I got so much thoughts rumbling around in my head. Sometimes I can't stop it, right? And then she would come right there and she'd be like, stop. I know what you're thinking. You got to stop it. Now, stop. And it would just go away. Holy crap, man.
That's amazing. And
Yeah,
that's what
she
that's
calms
your
me down
balance.
when I can't calm myself. Like every time I got to go to work, every time I have to go to work, my anxiety level goes up. So I start shaking like a tree and I start vibrating, right? And then she'll just come and she'll hug me. She give me a kiss. She says, "Up, calm down, take a breath, and I'll be okay." And the vibrating go. This woman is amazing, like.
Did you say this was your first white girl? Is that what you said?
Yeah,
Okay.
she is.
Okay.
Honestly, she is the first white girl I ever dated.
Okay.
Honestly, I swear to God,
You just came here, right?
Sorry, was swearing up. But honestly, she's the first white girl I've ever dated. I'm not even joking.
Just so happens I know who she is.
It just so happened that she is an amazing person.
Yeah.
But that's God again. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I say God has saved me so many times. I can't count them. And I didn't know nobody. I didn't know anything. I didn't know nobody. And I met this wonderful woman. I met this great woman who saved my life. But she saved me from myself.
Yeah, that you said it right there, bro. And a lot of us men are going through the exact same thing, man. We are our own worst enemy.
Yeah, man. Other than they look at the person next to you sometimes. I know life get hard sometimes, and sometimes you lose your way and you forget this person next to you. Don't lose that person, man. That person there for a reason. They there to have your back. They your strength when you don't have strength. When you're weak and you can't even think for yourself, that's what they come right there and give you the strength you need. God damn, I wouldn't be. I love this woman. Trust me, I tell you that. I love, and she's not even here right now. I'm just talking to you.
I know.
I love this woman, boy, and I wouldn't even be able to talk to you right now if I didn't have the strength from her right now. I'm telling you. But again, that's God.
Yeah, dude.
I wouldn't have her if it wasn't for God. God sent me what I needed when I needed it. He sent me the right person that I needed when I needed it. How could you ask for more than that? Simple things, I don't look for big magic, I don't look for no grand gesture. I don't look for no magical moment. I just look for simple things. Simple things matter, bro. And I grew up with anything, so the simple things matter a whole lot more than
Right. And like going back, would you have ever realized being a husband was going to be here like this?
I never thought I was gonna be a husband in the first place.
Hey.
If you want me to be honest with you, after all the crap I've been through, I never wanted to be a husband.
But you wanted
I
to
ain't
be a
be honest with
father.
you. I always wanted to be a father, but I didn't think it was gonna happen. But when it did,
Everything changed.
hey, God got a twisted sense of humor too,
No, tell me about it.
Yeah, he got a twisted sense of humor too.
He does not put you in the place of anybody that doesn't need your help too.
You're right.
Because what Noelle and I talked about, you saved her too, bro. And it's a daily occurrence. And it's nice that I'm getting that side right now.
I would say about 1,000 times over if I can. She deserves it.
God said that would be late.
She just came home now. She said, "Let God say let that be late."
Let there be light. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, you want to get into Genesis? I can get in Genesis with you. You read Genesis?
I haven't read Genesis in a long time.
You should. But the part I want you to read is the creation.
The one I know the most.
The reason why I want you to read it, because in the creation, right, it said, and that's the part that always throws me off.
Yeah.
Let me finish what he's saying. He said, "Let there be light," and then he said he created the earth and all that stuff, And then he said, "I will make man in my likeness and image." In my likeness and image, he did that. And then he created the fowls of the air, the beasts of the land, the fishes of the seas, and all that. And then he said, "Let us make man from dust."
From dust.
What do you think he meant when he said, "Let us make man from dust"?
I heard is because of
If you already made man in your likeness and image, why would you come back and say, "Let us make man from dust"?
I don't want to say the wrong word, but before he threw all the angels.
You got
Before
this,
he
brother. I
cast
know
them.
you got this. I know you got this.
And it's what do you call that? Not the Elohim. Is it the Elohim? They were
The what?
the Elohim.
What you said? Elohim?
The Elohim. Yeah, because they were not, at one point, they were not fallen. They were all a part of God's word.
Anyway, I can tell you what I think, and then you could tell me if I'm wrong. My thing is, when he made man in his likeness and image, he made the soul of the man. Actually, if you want me to be honest with you, if you really get into it, I believe God is a woman. I don't, well, not really a woman, but I think, like Noelle told me something that you said. You said that you don't think God is a man or a woman, it's just an energy. I love that. Yeah. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to say something to you that, I don't know, might change your mind or whatever. I don't know. Think about this. What do man create?
Man creates,
All man do is destruction.
You're
What?
talking about like man in general. You're talking about man, like humans in general. What does man create?
Yeah, exactly. Human.
Nothing.
In general. That's
Nothing.
what I'm
They
talking about.
destroy everything. Yeah.
Women are loving, they're nurturing, they're caring.
Yes.
Like I go to work for a week and I leave my kids with my wife and she gotta be here. I know she's tired. I know she deals with a bunch of bullshit, but she is here with them every day and she would not break. And I trust that. I live on that. I couldn't do that. If she was to go to work for a week and leave me here with these kids, I probably would have break.
Right. It's true. But like, man,
Yeah.
if we're going to become man create the seed in order for female to procreate. Yeah, like that. But man evolves in destruction.
Creation. In order to create something, you gotta have passion. You gotta have love. You gotta have nurture. You gotta be nurturing. You gotta grow these things. Like if you was to try to grow some weed right now, a pot, a plant a pot, you've been there before. I'm pretty sure you've been there. I know you grow weed before. how long and how much care you got to put into them weed plants to get them to grow a lot, right? You got to be tender and you got to be nurturing to them.
And even then,
I'm pretty sure you did
even
it.
then, the bugs get at
You're not
it.
gonna lie to me.
I was so upset because I was out there cleaning the soil, watering, talking to them, and they still ended up. It took more than what I could deliver.
You know why that happened? Let me ask you a question. When you was growing these weed plants, were you having sex?
Tons of it.
All right, well that's why they died.
That's nuts.
You can't have when you growing marijuana plants, they're very jealous. Trust me. If you have
What?
sex and you go around your plants feel that and they die. Ask anybody who grows
Go for it.
ask any Jamaican, any Bahamian who grows marijuana plants if they could have sex and go around their plant. You'll never get no product out of that.
What's she talking about in the back?
I don't know. She's talking something like that.
I thought this was a healing conversation.
That's my wife. We're not having a healing conversation. We just having a conversation.
That's the thing. I don't want it to be unauthentic. You know?
I tell you this straight, brother. I'm not gonna sugarcoat nothing.
No, that's exactly it. But my questions are not where we went, you know?
That's okay.
And that's the beauty of it.
We went in some places we shouldn't have gone.
You know, like I'm looking at my stuff right now. It's like, you're a builder, you know? Tell me about woodworking. Like, we're not there. We're not there, bro.
What do you want to know about woodworking? I like wood. I could build anything. What, Freemason? No, I didn't tell him that. But now that you bring it up, it's out there now. But yeah, I'm a Freemason too.
Right now?
Do you know as a Freemason?
33rd degree.
Me too. 3rd degree. Let me see your handshake.
I'm not part of it.
No? You say you're 3rd degree.
No. I know of the 33rd degree.
I am a 3rd degree. Yeah, I joined the Freemasons like a couple of years back. Like maybe
when you were here, yeah.
I don't know, maybe like 10 years back. No, in the Bahamas, I joined the Freemasons.
I don't have any education.
I will always be. How do you say that? I would always be a brother, but I'm not. I don't practice it anymore.
You'll always be above it.
I'll always be a brother.
And
the Freemasons.
Yeah, I know of like the Knights Templar and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
that's a little different from the Knights Templar.
Yeah, they were like the entry.
Yeah. That's why like people talk about like getting beaten and stuff like that. Like I told so much cut ass, man. Like I got beaten so much. Even from as a child, I used to get whippings. Like you can't get away from that. So anyway, that's a subject for another day. We'll talk about that or not. Yeah, that's a subject for another topic. When you're ready to have a podcast on that, I'll talk about that.
I have no idea what to say.
Freemasonry, you should look that up.
Oh, no. I am not in a position to believe or even discuss it because I don't know.
Fair enough.
Right? It's one of those things where I'm not going to come across as
authentic.
Exactly.
That's okay. But maybe you should. That's a subject would be great on your podcast if you actually think about it. Freemasonry, you could have a whole discussion just on that.
No, you'd be the first one.
But the thing about it is certain things you can't say about Freemasonry is you gotta choose your words carefully. So I wouldn't, in a sense, I wouldn't suggest it, but in a sense, I would.
You know, you're noticing I'm staying quiet, right? I have someone really close that was, and yeah, I wouldn't mess with him. So I'm not saying anything.
Tell him come see me. Tell him come see me. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in our language. And he knows exactly what that language is. I need to use a washroom. Is that okay?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna freshen up here.
You gonna put some lipstick on?
I am going to put some lipstick on.
You gotta go pee-pee too?
No.
How do I say this without being sound like an asshole? How do I say this? Where Eve slept with Lucifer and created Cain. And that was the reason they were kicked out of the garden in the first place, because they said she ate an apple. Come on, an apple? Well, some Bibles say she ate of the tree of life. Some Bibles say she ate of the tree of good and evil. But technically, if you want to get technical about it, what is life? How do you eat off a tree of life without bringing life into the world? So he didn't actually eat an apple. He ate the woman.
I was picturing it.
Yeah, like, and they said the tree of good and evil. Only one thing bring good or evil into the world. That's the other sex, that agenda. You can't bring good or evil into the world without actually bringing something into the world to be good or evil. So I'm just saying, like, they trying to sugarcoat it, but at the end of the day, it's sex.
And that makes more sense to me, right?
Uh,
Makes a lot more sense.
yeah,
Everything
that's
that has come out has always been around sexuality, pleasures of the flesh.
and see, that's what a lot of people don't understand. Like, sex plays a big part in who we are. Sex it could make you or break you. Trust me, brother, it could make you or break you. And if you have sex with the wrong woman, it could send you down a whole nother path because you don't know how many other people she slept with and all of their demons inside her. And then when she sleep with you, their demons go inside you.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in that.
So you should thank your blessings, brother. You got a good woman that slept with you and guided you down the right path. So you should thank your lucky stars for that because a lot of people ain't so fortunate, brother.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. The dirty part I was telling you about earlier, that's where that's from.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. And nonetheless, my wife has had some pretty dark,
Messed up relationships. Yeah, I know, but she didn't change who she was. She's still the same person. She didn't change, right? So she didn't transfer anything into you because she know who she was. So she didn't absorb that negative energy. See?
well,
She didn't need it.
well, I'm pretty sure she had some. If you ask her, she's,
Well, you know, like, of course they absorb some of it, right? And they try to block it out. But life is what it is, brother. You either want what you want, you want to be good or you want to be evil. It's that simple. Some people destined to be what they are. You can't change it. And she can't be nothing but good. Everything
yeah,
that
now
kicks in
she
her
is.
vein is good. Yeah, no, my wife got good blood running through her, man. She's good. She keep me stable, so I thank God for that. Nah, she's threatening me now. But yeah, I'm very happy with what God has blessed me with, and like two beautiful girls, man. You ever seen my kids? They're
Yeah.
freaking beautiful,
Yeah.
and you know they're very smart. You know, they're very intelligent. You know, my brains and her good looks, they'll go far. You know.
It's a good thing my boys look like their mom too.
Yeah. So with my brains and her good looks, we'll be okay. I don't know what you did, so I'm not gonna do it. I like talking to you.
I think what we should do, bro, we'll make that into like a 3, 4, or 5-part series.
Whatever you want to do, brother.
And
If you want to have another session, we could do that. I actually enjoy it. I can be honest with you. I feel like I'm talking to a therapist right now.
first off, thank you for watching this episode. I would love to know what you guys got out of it. Thank you so much, Darren, for trusting me with this, for sitting down and opening up. And I just gotta mention to you guys that there was a lot of back and forth. There was a lot of edits, but nonetheless, I tried to sustain the most important parts that you guys could see. No matter what we go through in life, Darren's story reminded me that God's always there regardless. And second, Christ didn't come to save the righteous. He's after all of us. He wants us to be drawn near to him, regardless of what our ego and what our decisions are. So as you can tell, we still ain't perfect. We don't have all the answers, and we're still just trying to mirror Christ. So I'd like to invite you at daditudepowersports.com and continue this conversation with me. Nonetheless, Darren's episode feels like a new chapter, becoming the man your family needs you to be after you've lived like someone you're no longer proud of. We all have the opportunity to be redeemed. So until next time, take care, and I'll see you in the lounge.